I grew up in between Jewish dichotomies. My mom comes from a modern Orthodox background, and my dad comes from a totally secular Yiddishist and cultural background. Growing up, it always felt like I was a bit of a guinea pig, as my folks tried to figure out where we would fit in this Jewish communal landscape. They sent us to Camp Ramah, Reform shuls, Orthodox shuls, Israel immersive trips, Solomon Schechter, Chabad, Cheder camp, whatever that is, in addition to Yiddish folk arts festivals and klezmer retreats, where we would meet anti-Zionist Jews who would sing Yiddish songs about the Tsar. And each of these places had pretty drastically different notions of what it meant to be a good Jew and a bad Jew. I remember once as a kid marching with my school down the Salute to Israel parade down Fifth Avenue in New York City, and over on the side, along with a group of ultra-Orthodox Hasidim who were protesting, I noticed some of those family friends from the klezmer world. And so as a kid, I remember waving and saying, "Hey," and the chaperone said, No, we don't know them. Huh? Don't I know them? I know them from camp, but not at the parade? Who's the bad Jew here? And who decides? And what does it even really mean to be a bad Jew? Generally, it means your religiosity isn't up to snuff. Maybe your Israel politics are too out there. Maybe you're involved with someone romantically outside of the faith. Whatever it may mean, whoever's saying it, the implication is that there is some notion of being a good Jew. And whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, well, that's just not good enough. As a kid, my Jewish milieu was dissonant and confusing and challenging, but now I cherish it because it informed my identity, my understanding of what it meant to be a Jew, the plurality of Judaism, but also the oneness of the Jewish family and the Jewish people. I learned from a very young age that you could live your life as a vibrant Jew in a myriad of ways. I also know that what I experienced as a kid was pretty unique. That being said, in 2017, our Jewish college students are faced with a similar smorgasbord, dazzling display of choices. What are you going to study? What are you going to major in? What are you going to do once you graduate? What are you doing for Shabbat dinner? Choice is constant, from choosing which tragedy to like on Facebook, from which event we'll say we'll go to and then the events we'll actually go to. From the mundane to the meta, choice is everywhere, no matter how habituated we may be in our choices. And how you Jew, how you express your Judaism, is just as much of a choice. In 2017, every Jew is a Jew by choice. And so our question is not how do we hand our students the right choice, but rather, how do we help them realize what choice is right for them? Empowering them to feel good about their decisions, so that a student like Sam can feel like she has a place at our Shabbat table. You haven't met Sam yet. Sam was a senior at Hunter College when we first met, and in all her years there had never made her way inside her school's Hillel. She'd never experienced any of Hillel's magic, learning, service work. She had never been, and to be honest, Hillel just never felt like home. Sam and I first met about 3 years ago when we co-founded and opened up Base Hillel in New York City, now in 4 cities and growing. And the idea for Base was relatively simple. Empower pluralistic rabbinic couples to open their homes and have those homes serve as convening points for Jewish life. While every base would look different depending on the nature of the rabbinic couple, what happened inside those homes would be common and similar to what our Hillels offer. Celebrate the Jewish calendar, learn, experience Jewish otherness, give back, serve. Sam first made her way to our home in Chelsea when a friend of hers brought her along for our weekly service cooking project on a Tuesday night. And Sam has been with us since, often creating our menus as we prepare a home-cooked meal for our friends at St. Francis Xavier Church. Over our many coffees and schmoozings, Sam and I explored her Jewish identity, her background, and this baggage she carried of being a bad Jew. Sam would say that she's not religious. She hasn't fasted on Yom Kippur in the past, or kept kosher, or observed Shabbat. But every Tuesday, after spending however many hours at school, and before spending nearly 2 hours to commute home, as so many of our commuter students do, Sam comes over to the rabbi's house to chop carrots and onions and whatever else we're making for 10 to 12 homeless gentlemen who know her by name and know that Tuesday night is the night when the Jew crew comes over. So you tell me, is Sam just another bad Jew because she doesn't affiliate in traditional ways? Is Matisyahu a bad Jew because he doesn't wear his kippah in public anymore? How about Jon Stewart? I'm pretty sure Jon Stewart doesn't lay tefillin. We need to combat the very notion of who is a bad Jew and instead spend our resources, energy, and imagination on what being a good Jew can look like. College and the years post-college are times of immense discovery and exploration. When better than now to explore the different facets of one's Jewish identity? We Jewish educators and professionals need to be listening extra closely for those self-identified bad Jews in our midst and help them reclaim their identities as good Jews, discovering their way. Take service cooking, for example. Can we look at what we're doing and have the chutzpah, the audacity, to reclaim those acts as inherently Jewish? Sure, Sam may not keep Shabbat, but every Tuesday she cooks a meal for a homeless shelter. And before we cross the street to serve, we come together for a kavanah, a framing, an intention setting of why we do what we do as Jews. And that's what makes it Jewish, by the way. We ritualize. We bring a specific Jewish consciousness and intentionality to what we're doing, and we do so proudly. The prophet Isaiah actually said it best thousands of years ago in examining our religious practice of fasting on Yom Kippur. Fasting. It's pretty Jewish, right? Says the prophet Isaiah, "Why, when we fasted, did you not see? When we starved our bodies, did you pay no heed? Because, says the Lord, you fast in strife and contention. Is such a day I desire, a day for men to starve their bodies in tension? Do you call that a fast? No. This is what I ask. To unlock the fetters of wickedness, to break off every yoke, to let the oppressed go free, not to ignore your own folk. It is to share your bread with the hungry and to take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, to clothe him, for we are never alone." Those are the words, more or less, of the prophet Isaiah, written thousands of years ago and chanted every year, albeit not in spoken word format, in our synagogues on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Think about that for a second. On a day when the rabbis knew that us Jews would fill the pews, what portion of our sacred text did they choose for us to revisit? A Torah on being a bad Jew, on how fasting alone just doesn't cut it, on how service isn't just an extracurricular activity, it's fundamental Judaism. I know we all know this, that service is important, but ask yourselves, the shul that you go to or don't go to on Yom Kippur, how much of the service is focused on service, and how much of it is focused on fasting? We've tried to harness that distinction and vision at base. We aim to reclaim the notion of radical hospitality. We open our homes to meet students like Sam, and we open our homes to feed the homeless. We know there's a plethora of ways of being Jewish in today's day and age, and we also believe in the tight-knit communities we're forming on these local levels. We also know that what we're doing isn't so innovative. It's ancient. It's what tradition tells us our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, did in a desert with a tent that was vast and wide and open to all. It's a radical hospitality that we believe is infectious and has the power to change the world, one person at a time. Sam, who for so long felt marginalized and ostracized by the greater Jewish community, after coming to base and having positive Jewish experiences around service cooking, believe it or not, is today a Hillel professional, inspiring students of her own, and is in the audience right now. And has given me permission to share her story, albeit with a different name. That's the power of what we do at Base Hillel, and that's what we all get to do being part of this Hillel movement. We get to encounter students who are trying to figure their way in and out of this larger Jewish ecosystem of ours. We get to lean on a tradition that's thousands of years old for strength and inspiration, and we get to say we don't know when we don't. This time next week, we'll be back in our homes and Hillel's celebrating Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is a time of tapping into a new vision of what's possible. Each of us here are a shamish, a helper light, with the power to light and ignite and inspire others. So next week when we're lighting, let's keep in mind all those self-identified bad Jews out there. All those students who haven't made their way to Hillel just yet. Just as our ancestors conducted a Chanukhat Habayit, a rededication, a re-sanctification of their most sacred space, let's reimagine and rededicate ours. Because, hey, you never know when your next student like Sam might show up at your door. Thank you.